The second part of program number 1 is that your robot needs to be able to back up 1 foot. Then it needs to turn 180 degrees. Then it needs to move forward, and it needs to stop 6 inches away from the wall, which we're going to use this block here. Now let me explain the wait command real quick. What this wait command is saying is, while my motors are running indefinitely, my touch sensor is going to be on and waiting until the button is pressed. Once the button is pressed, then it's going to move to the next block. Now I said that it needs to move in reverse 1 foot. To get it to go in reverse, you're going to change the speed and you're going to put it into the negatives. Okay, so making it negative will make it go in reverse. To make it turn, once again, we're going to turn our slider. Now, I'm going to go back to this turn. I said that 2 rotations is 90 degrees. If 2 rotations is 90 degrees, then 180 degrees, which is double that, will be 4 rotations. Then it needs to move forward until it is 6 inches away from the wall, which means I need it to be on and run until my next sensor is triggered. The sensor that determines distance is the ultrasonic sensor, okay? The ultrasonic sensor is, I call it the ET. Some students think it looks more like Wall-E. Doesn't matter, just as long as you remember what it is. So we want our ultrasonic sensor to compare the distance in inches. So what the ultrasonic sensor does is those red eyes emit a wave, an ultrasonic wave ahead of it. It times it so that when it touches a wall or touches a surface and bounces back, the sensor reads it, calculates the amount of time that it took to go to the object and back, and then it converts it to a distance. So in order to get this to work properly, because we want it to be 6 inches away from the object, the wall in our case, we want this set to be less than. You can use less than or equal to, but we want it to be less than 6 inches. Now this 50, this is not 50 inches. This is a tolerance number. What that means is if you're utilizing these comparisons, greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to, in math, you think of math, when you've used these, you've created a range of numbers that fit that equation or makes that equation true. So we can't put in here 6 and have it stop 6 inches away from the wall because it's a tolerance number. So it's saying we need to change the number through trial and error to get it to be about 6 inches away from the wall. I like to start out at around 10 and then have my students keep changing it until they are about a half a foot away from the wall. Okay, please note up here that your ultrasonic sensor right now is plugged into port 4. On here, your robot, your sensors all go into these numbered ports. So that one should be my ultrasonic sensor. So now as my program reads, you can't see this one. This one is moving forward the 5 feet. It's turning 2 rotations, 50% power. And then it's going to run until the touch sensor is pressed, then it will back up 1 rotation, turn, then move forward until the ultrasonic sensor senses the distance away from the wall, and then you want your robot to stop. Remember, to get it to stop, we're going to use this brick, and we're going to set this to off. Okay? Now, here is your challenge. This is the basic program. Now what you need to do is figure out what to set each block of your program to. If you want to program in rotations, great. If you want to change it to time or to degrees, it's up to you. But you need to be able to change it and figure out how many rotations or how many seconds or how many degrees those wheels need to turn in order to go the 5 feet. Then you need to figure out how many turns your wheels need to make at this turn, whatever you set this at, to go 90 degrees. Then you need to change this to back up 1 foot. You need to change this to get it to turn 180. Then you need to change this to get it to stop 6 inches away from the wall. This is going to be trial and error. So change your numbers, download it to your robot, run it, and see what happens.